welcome back, rubbers. I hope this day finds you well. We're going to shift gears, and that we're going to use, for today's episode, today's recipe, a different machine. And it's a new addition to the machines in the grotto, in our garage here. We call it the grotto. We have 7 now. We had 6, but we added a new machine. And it's something that I've been fighting for a long time. It's a smoker. And I've been reluctant to get involved in the whole smoking thing over the years because it just seemed like a lot of work. You know, these things look like the size of a small locomotive, and you have to tend them. It looked like all day long you got to check the fire and move the coals and adjust the vents, and I was thinking, well, all day long I got to tend to this monster, and I thought I'm not going to do it. It's just not my thing. And then of course I became aware of the air fryer after several years, that we have these things called electric smokers, and they're not the size of a locomotive. They're a little bit bigger than like a dorm fridge. So we had Prime Day on Amazon, and there was a little reduction in the price, so I swooped in and bought one. So what we're going to do today is we're going to smoke a turkey breast. A word about smokers, and I'm far from an expert, but I just want to point out a couple things. I bought a Char Broil smoker. This isn't the smoker, because I bought 6 years ago this wonderful Char Broil. It's a portable grill. Now it's not portable because I don't go to the beach and take it, or have picnics somewhere and take it. But it's just a great grill, and it's been durable. It's been reliable. It's easy to clean. I mean, relatively easy as a grill might be, and I got to clean it, obviously. Oh, I forgot about that. Anyway, the point is, I think Char Broil is a good brand, and based on the construction, the design, the engineering, the durability of this, I'm a fan of Char Broil. Okay, so when I decided to get an electric smoker, I found Char Broil has one, and it had really high ratings. It was at my price point, which is about $300. I've used it a few times to test, to make sure it's not defective. I mean, it weighs like 60 pounds, and I sure as hell don't want to put it back in the box and try to ship it. I don't think I'd get it in the car. Anyway, so I bought a Char Broil. There's 1,000 brands, and they're different designs. Some are side loading for the chips. Mine's a front loader. I just wanted to get a good one, a brand I could trust, and so far it works great. And of course it's electronic, so it's got this little digital pad to adjust everything. Front loader means just what it sounds like. It's a front loader, and the chips go in here, chips go in there, okay, in the box, okay, and then there's water. This is good to create moisture, which I will always use, because hey, you don't want dry smoked meat. That's that. It's very simple machine. Everything comes out. It's got 3 racks, but I have them out because I want to smoke right here. And it's got a built-in probe, which is really cool. This is a great feature, the built-in probe. But anyway, I'm gonna set that up. It's very well made. I'm very impressed. And it's got down here on the side here, grease tray. Oh, what's that? There's some grease. I guess I need to clean that. You just feel by the feel of it when you move around and touch it. It's really well made. Okay, enough of this promo for Char Broil. The point is, it's an electric smoker, and that's what we're going to use for our smoked turkey breast. Morning, rubbers. We're back. Now, if you search on YouTube for brines, you will find about 50,000 different ones. Well, there's about 50,000 brines, but they have basically the same few ingredients. And that's got to be salt, number one. Usually some kind of sugar. Could be honey. Could be something with sugar in it, like apple juice. And then others sometimes add some kind of a vinegar or something, a citrus. But I'm going to keep it really simple today. We've got a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, a couple tablespoons of salt, brown sugar, salt, And you know, some say you should heat the water and boil it. No, you don't do all that. You just have to dissolve it. Obviously, it takes a minute just to stir a bit, and then we're gonna have brine. And then we're gonna put our turkey breast, which by the way, mine today is bone in, skin on, because the bones add moisture and flavor, and the skin adds a lot of fat, which is of course also moisture, but more importantly, flavor. And we got our turkey breast. It's a beautiful one. Okay, Mr. Turkey Breast, it's time for your morning bath, which will be about 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours. But I'm gonna brine this 6 hours. I think that'll be sufficient. It's not a massive, thick piece of meat. It's not like a whole turkey. So we're just gonna lay this beautiful thing in there, and you want it submerged, which you can see it is. I put a little pepper on this overnight, so you know, I don't know if that does anything, but it looked nice. Anyway, you want to make sure it's submerged. Now, it shouldn't float. And put it in the refrigerator. And we'll see you in about 6 hours. This is a great invention, a great product. It's called a meter. It's called a meter. It's a probe. It's a probe for accurately measuring precisely the internal temperature of the meat. It's beautifully made, beautifully engineered. Those are magnets, so it can stick on the side of your oven or your fridge. Opens up. This is the battery that charges the probe, because it's got a rechargeable little battery built in, which is how it works. Magnets on the back to close it. Bamboo. I mean, it's really nicely done. I like it because once you insert it in the meat, it's like an internal oven probe. You don't have to guess, and you don't have to open the door and start messing around probing, because when you open the door of the smoker to probe, if that's what you're doing, all the hot air and smoke's going to leave. Anyway, if you don't have a meter, get a meter. It comes with a great app that goes on your phone, which tells you not only the internal temperature of the meat, it tells you the ambient temperature, which is the air around the meat, and it also tells you estimated time for doneness. It's going to be ready in 12 minutes. And then when it's 5 minutes, it says 5 minutes, it alerts you. And then when it's ready, it says get it off the heat. It works, it's great. So I'm a meter fan. I recommend one strongly. So while our turkey breast is brining, I'm doing the prep. I got our water tray here, and that's gonna go right in there. Okay, slide it in. Got our chips. Gonna put the lid on. Okay, and just slide it in. Boom, that's it. And then we're gonna put our bird right here and smoke it. Okay, a word to the wise, or the not so wise perhaps. This is my setup, okay? Now you're never supposed to smoke inside. And of course, if you read the legal disclosures on the instructions for this beautiful machine, it says never do what I'm doing. You should never smoke in a place that doesn't have ventilation. Well, we've got a lot of ventilation here. First of all, the door is wide open, and I've got a big fan here. When we get going, I'm gonna turn it on full. So all the smoke and all the carbon dioxide goes out, okay? And that's the way you should always do it. I saw a YouTube a few months ago, and this guy, this is hard to believe, this guy was smoking a brisket in an electric smoker in his garage with the door down, enclosed. I mean, that's like almost a death sentence. And I only saw the one video, so I mean, I don't know what happened to this guy. This is how I've done a few test runs. It works beautifully, and I'm still alive. So make sure you don't smoke in an enclosed space. It's like putting a charcoal grill in your living room. I mean, who does this? Well, I shouldn't say that, people do, but we won't do it. The garage grubbers would never do something so idiotic. It's time to preheat the smoker. pH means preheat. Okay, see you in 40 minutes. Okay, all, we have preheated smoker. I've got it now heating up to 250, which is what we're going to do our smoke on. I'm going to use a mild rub, and that's because we're smoking and just my own taste. The smoke's got a lot of stuff. It's very robust, and so if you use a heavy rub, it's, to me, a little bit much, and it is, after all, turkey, not like a brisket or ribs or something. So I'm going to use my go-to favorite. This is Goya. It's their Sazonador Total. It's the perfect seasoning. I guess that's what that means in Spanish. Anyway, I love it. And here's one of the reasons I love it. Most rubs, if you read the ingredients, the first ingredient is salt. And we just brine this turkey breast for 6 hours in salt water. So like maybe there's enough salt. So the first ingredient in this is garlic. Then we have onion. Then we get into salt, parsley, cumin, oregano, and there's some things in here I can't pronounce. They're very, like 40 letters, but whatever. The point is, this is great. You can use it on chicken, beef, anything. We use it in soups. I mean, so get some Goya. This should just you should always have this in your seasoning department. Okay, so let's get our breast out and see how we're doing. Boy, that's cold. Ooh, ooh. There's our brine breast. I hope you can see that well enough. And we're just going to put it down on a rack here. Okay, so I'm just going to put a light dusting of Goya on the turkey breast. There's a little pepper still that somehow hung on, even though it was in brine for all that time. And that's it. And I'm just going to pat it down a little. Now I didn't put oil on it. I could have, but it's moist, and it's going to stick. That's good enough. Now I'm going to pat this a little drier because it's pretty wet, and put a little more on. I'm not putting it all under the skin. I mean, you can go crazy on the whole rub thing if you want, but we're just gonna, I think it's enough, because again, we're smoking it. I mean, the primary flavor profile is smoke, right? Okay, that's sufficient. That's it, we're done. Okay, it's time for the probe. So we're going to insert it in the in the thickest part of the breast here. So it feels like that's somewhere in here. Yeah. So I'm just gonna get it going here. And you're supposed to put it in until this little indention it's like a little indention ring around the probe is just inside, which I've done. And now we're going to pop open the app and put on the poultry turkey breast setting for 165. Well, our turkey breast is happily tucked into our smoker, and we're set on 250. And I put a few hours on, but it should take, I think, about 2 hours. And the meter will let us know when it's ready. Okay, folks, got to get my fan on so I don't smoke up the house. Well, approximately 3 hours later, I think we have a beautiful smoked turkey breast. We'll get out the dagger here in a minute and take a slice, see how we did. Well, here we go. We're going to take a small slice off the side of this breast and see how we came out. Looks pretty nice. Quite moist and tender. I don't know. We'll have to take a bite before we can really tell how good it is. Well, we always say the test is in the taste, so we're gonna give it a shot. See how this smoke. Oh, the guy went by, his foot sticking out the window of the car. Who are these people? Anyway, it looks pretty beautiful. See how it tastes. Got the skin on this one. Oh yeah. I mean, one more. Oh, smoky, tender, moist. STM. Thanks for joining, rubbers. Hope you had fun, and I recommend you go out, get a turkey breast, find a smoker one way or the other, give it a shot. Thanks for joining. We'll be back real soon with another episode. Garage Rubbin'.